The PS1 was an RPG machine back in the day. Most people who liked RPGs who owned a PS1 definitely had one of the Final Fantasy games that were out. Legend of Dragoon, Xenogears, or hell, any Squaresoft game just about. And don't get me wrong, these games are really cool and awesome and define the system, definitely. But what about all the other games that definitely get overlooked and not talked about? There's countless games in this system, and there's even RPGs that we never even got in the States or as well as PAL regions. One game though that definitely is known of that has a cult following is Jade Cocoon. A game title with the name Cocoon in it, you just don't hear that too often. Jade Cocoon always looked like a very unique game to me. It's a monster collecting type of game, just as like stuff like Digimon or Pokemon. So I've always wanted to try and play this game over the years, and I finally found a copy at the game store earlier this year, saving it for a nice treat for the holidays, and just did a whole playthrough on it. I'm gonna go over this game, if it's worth your time or not to check out and play, and if it's even any good or not. Sit back, relax, let's talk about Jade Cocoon for the original PlayStation. Jade Cocoon came out in the year 1999 in North America as well as PAL regions only for the PS1. It was developed by Genki or however the hell you pronounce that name, and as well as published by Crave. Genki was definitely one of those under the radar developers, but they made a lot of stuff back in the 90s into the 2000s. The most famous series they've made up to this point is definitely the Tokyo Extreme Racer series. They've made stuff like a launch title for the PS1, Kiliak the DNA Imperative, which is a very odd title, and the Kingo games, which are fighting games on the PS2. The story of this game is very interesting. So you play as a silent protagonist named Levin, or you can name him whatever you want. You live in this village called Cirrus, and the whole world is like a jungle forest world type of deal with a lot of creatures and stuff. Definitely kind of tribal and jungle themed here going on. One day during a festival, all these monsters come and attack the village. Well, this woman named Garai, she uses his magic to repel them back. For traditional reasons, Levin and his friend Mabu have a wedding and get married. That way he can become a cocoon master and he can go on an adventure to find this herb to help with the curse, because the curse did affect the village some. There's more to it, but that's pretty much the gist. So you basically at that point just go out, catch monsters, raise them, and fight others. If the artwork looks a little familiar to you, that's because it was designed by Katsuya Kondo, who was from Studio Ghibli at the time. And I am a big fan of Studio Ghibli films. Jade Cocoon is a turn-based RPG all the way. The controls are very basic for this game, so it kind of takes the approach of what games were at the time. It's fixed cameras, and it's got tank controls where you move up to move and the other buttons just turn you around and stuff. Triangle will make you auto run and move forward. This is honestly very convenient. I use this a lot in my playthrough. X is your action button with menus and NPCs dialogue. Circle brings up your main menu. Like many other role-playing games, this game has its own little identity going for it. You start a battle with your main character, Levin, and what you can do is you can either attack or defend. You can use items too on yourself or your minions, they call it, your monsters, or you can also summon the monsters in your place. It's kind of like switching in a Pokemon battle. The big thing here is you can capture, and it's literally what you think it is. It's basically your Pokeballs in this game, except you throw these net things, and you have to watch this animation here every time you catch a monster. Really cool to see at first, but after like the 5th or 6th time, it's like, okay, hurry up already. Lastly, you can hit retreat, and sometimes you can run away from battle. Your main character is decent, but more of a sponge for honestly using items and all that stuff. The real dirty work is really your monsters, or minions they call it. Minions can also attack or defend. They also have special attack or magic attacks. Special attacks are basically physical moves that they can use with their like different parts of the body, like horns and all that stuff. And magic attacks are literally what it is, magical attacks. The last function you can do is you can also switch. You can go back to your main character or another minion. Monsters cannot use items, only your main character, so you gotta kind of strategize ahead of time. The game takes place in these vast forest jungle areas like I mentioned earlier, and you'll spend your time roaming around all these places, fighting monsters, capturing them, picking up items, and sometimes talking to NPCs along your way to progress through the story. The game is structured around 4 main gates alongside your hub, the village. Each gate, starting with easy ones in Beetle Forest, it'll continue to get harder as you unlock more keys and more monsters you'll face at higher levels. In the village, it's serious. There's a bunch of different things you can do. You can go to different places like your own house, other people's homes, and talk to NPCs. But the nitty-gritty is here. You got your town shops where you can buy all your items you need, as well as the weapon shop. And sometimes, at first at least, he'll start with not really much, but as the game goes on, he'll get better items for you to buy. Money is actually kind of weird in this game. You don't really get money from battle, you actually acquire it through other means, which I'll get to in a minute. In the village, after you're taking a break from battle, where you'll go the most probably is Garai's house, and you'll talk to Mabu. She's your wife at this point. When you talk to her, she kind of acts like a PC, if you will, with a lot of different other functions you can do. The first thing she'll do is perform her Nagi magic, and basically this just heals your parties, all this does. Other things you can do, you can view all your monsters, just take a look at them, see their forms, or even nickname them. When you catch monsters in this game, you actually can't use them at first. You have to go back to this girl here at the hub, and she'll convert them from fireflies into actual cocoons you can use on your adventure. You can do what's called spinning in this game, and you spin these monsters and they become silk. You can use this to sell at item shops. This is how you make money, so the better the monster, the more money you'll get. The big one here, and the creme de la creme of this game, is you can merge monsters together, and they can morph into create something a little bit better, sometimes worse, but look completely different, and it looks literally like what the two monsters would be put together. This is a lot like DNA Digivolving in Digimon World 2, but I think it's definitely better in this game because they actually fuse together and they get stronger, and any abilities that they have, they can be passed on if they're in that element, because their elements also mix together too. If you merge too many times though, and you get rid of an element with an attack that you had of that element, you can lose it though, so just wanted to let you know. This is a really fun mechanic in this game, and the more you merge and experiment around, you can see all these cool little things you can create and all these moves you pass on. It's just fun to see what you get. There's only 4 types in this game: water, fire, earth, air. And water's good against fire, fire's good against air, air's good against earth, and you get it. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. There's kind of subtypes a little bit. With the physical moves you can do, like your special attacks, you have like horn, claw, tail, foot. These are apparently like super extra bonus damage you can perform in battle depending on your monster. If your monster's got some strong claws and you got a claw attack, it's going to do more damage because their claws are big. Just kind of nice little fun touch like that. Battles are mostly one-on-one, but there are times where the enemy sometimes has either 2, sometimes 3 that you'll have to fight. You only can use 1 at a time in this game, but you do get some moves that hit everybody, so you just kind of have to plan accordingly on how you go about that. If a minion dies in battle, you'll swap back to the main character, Levin. And of course, at that point, you can use a revive if you need to, or heal them whenever you get done with the battle. If you die, though, the battle is completely over, and you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the forest. At least they don't make you go back to your last save. I was really worried at one point when this happened to me, so that's kind of nice, but you do have to go back to where you were, but it's not too bad, honestly. Other than key items that kind of activate when the time comes, you'll find items in chests sometimes, and you get a lot of items in this game, seriously, so you'll be good on health, and like I said, it's easy to get money, so it's no issue at all to stay alive all the time. There's really not a whole lot of boss fights in this game. The only actual big fights you have through most of the game is this poacher guy. He's kind of like your rival, and he's not that hard at all. The only actual bosses are at the end of the game, and I won't spoil nothing about that, but that's about really it, at least for the main story. Kinda do wish there was more important battles, because I do like a good challenge. Overall, it's a pretty simple RPG for the most part in terms of difficulty. My time playing Jade Cocoon was awesome. It was a really fun game and very mysterious at first, it had a cool story going, and then getting to the gameplay with all the different minions, it was really fun to do. I absolutely love the art style of this game, and it makes me think of games like Ni no Kuni, also kind of the same dilemma there. The world's really cool, even though there's not like a whole lot to explore, it's mostly just forests and jungles, but it's something a little different than all the other games you usually play. The music is also fantastic. It really fits the vibe of this game. Here's a couple tracks just to kind of give you a little bit of a taste. FMV cutscenes are stellar when the game starts out. It's really cool to watch what's going on, what happens, and the voice acting. Almost every character in this game has voice acting, and that is seriously impressive. This is a one-disc game, mind you, not multi-disc. They put a lot and crammed a lot on this disc.
Try not to get eaten alive out there, tough guy. But I guess there's nothing scarier than Mabu.
Ah, you are such a brat. You're making me lose my temper, you little twit.
All the cosmetics aside, the gameplay is very good. It's nothing incredibly innovative. I mean, it's like Pokemon, but I mean, hell, if you like Pokemon, you're gonna like this too. If you happen to check this game out, there is in fact a battle mode you can do, and you can play against a friend. That's pretty cool. I like it when games do that, and you can use your little buddies and challenge each other. No game is perfect, and neither is Jade Cocoon. One thing that I definitely got annoyed with this game is how slow these battles are. The battle animations take a minute, even though you do get used to it. I mean, hell, if you could play Juggernaut on PS1, you'll be fine with this game. Whenever you catch monsters and go back to Mabu, it's way too easy to max out your storage. You only have like 10 slots or so, and if you do max your storage out, you have to get rid of some of those, or you cannot exit the menu. Kinda stupid, I don't understand why that happened. I wish there were more important battles in this game, like I mentioned before, but one thing too this game suffers is the length of this game. It's only like a 14 to 15 hour game here, pretty short for an RPG. I don't think it's bad personally, but I know for some who crave a lot, you're not going to find it here. However, there is a post-game to this one, so I don't want to spoil anything of what happens, but when you beat it, there's more to do, so just know that. This game's kind of one of a kind on the system, and if you like what you've seen so far in this video and all the stuff I've talked about, Jade Cocoon is definitely worth your time to check out on the original PlayStation. This game is still trapped on the PS1, unfortunately. I wish this game got a re-release of some kind digitally. If you want to own this game, it is a little hefty, so it's almost about $100 right now. It might come down at some point, because I paid about $50 or $60 for this one, but it's definitely a great game and excellent title to add to your collection. There's a sequel out there, Jade Cocoon 2, and it was on the PS2, and it came out a couple years later. I'm definitely on the hunt for this one to get it in my collection, and who knows, maybe we'll talk about this one someday and review it as well. Well, that's all I've got to say about this game. I'm gonna go outside, find some caterpillars, and just harvest a ton of silk and just start capturing all the bugs and creatures I see and become a cocoon master. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you got anything to say, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you got and your opinions about Jade Cocoon or just anything you want to say. Until next time, thanks for watching. Y'all take it easy.